The multiplier effect. You can see this chicken over here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is one chicken that has made those 8 chicks. So this mother hen has been able to multiply the number of chicks. It is one hen and it is able to produce 8 chicks. Meaning, if you give it time, then it will be able to produce this amount of chicks like 5 times a year. If that is possible, if you have an example like 10 chicken, then you have the multiplier effect. If you have 10 chicken, if they can produce 3 times a year, that means that you'll be able to produce 240 chicks in 1 year. Meaning, if you start a year with 10 chicken, like those ones, with only 1 rooster, at the end of the year, you'll be able to have over 254 chicken. That is the multiplier effect of chicken. So you want to have over 200 chicken in 1 year. You have only to believe in yourself and start with the number of chicken that you have. How can you be able to multiply the number of chicken that you have? How can you be able to have hundreds or even thousands of chicken on a poultry farm? Even if you are starting with like 10 chicken, how can you be able to multiply that number and have over 500 chicken in 1 year? You have a target at the start of a year, or you are giving yourself 1 year so that you can be able to have a multiple number of chicken on your poultry farm. You only need to have discipline. If you have to have discipline, then you also need to have a target. Where do you want to be in 1 year? There are various ways of how you can be able to multiply the number of your chicken on your poultry farm. First of all, you can use the old traditional method, whereby you rear the old traditional chicken which were kept by our grandmother. Which type of chicken are these that I'm talking about? The local kind of chicken, the one that I've shown at the start of the video. If you decide to rear like 20 chicken of that species, the local chicken, they are known as roadrunners in other countries, the local bred chicken, the hardy chicken that you want to rear in your poultry farm. If you have to start with 20, you only need 2 roosters. You need 20 hens, then only 2 roosters. If you have that, then you can be able to do the multiplication effect, whereby you will be able to multiply the number of chicken that you can have on your poultry farm by the end of that year. Let's do an assumption whereby if you have 1 hen, that 1 hen can produce up to 50 chicks in 1 year, that local chicken. So what if you have 20 chicken, 20 hens? How many number of birds can you be able to produce in 1 year? The minimum number of birds that you can be able to produce in 1 year, let's say that are around 500 birds, because we are putting here in cases of some mortality that can occur on a poultry farm. So that's why I'm saying the minimum number that you can have on that poultry farm at the end of that year is 500 chicken. If you're doing the local chicken, only having 20 hens and 2 roosters, the multiplier effect, then you can be able to have over 500 chicken in 1 year. Okay? Another method is whereby you do the multiplier effect using this kind of chicken. This kind of chicken are known as the improved kienyeji breed. Our breed is known as the super kienyeji breed. This kind of bird are able to lay for you fertilized eggs. Why am I saying fertilized eggs? And I'm insisting on saying fertilized eggs. There are 2 kinds of eggs that a chicken can lay. For example, the layers, the brown, the Lohman brown, the Isa brown, they usually lay eggs. But they usually lay the eggs without the presence of having a rooster there. But they will be able only to produce the eggs. But the egg that they will be producing are known as stable eggs. These eggs can't be multiplied into chicks, can't be hatched into chicks, because they don't have an embryo in them, because they don't have the presence of the rooster so that they can be able to fertilize the egg. You see? So if you are keeping layers, just you'll be able to only produce the table eggs that are only meant to make something like the cakes and the pastries out there. But if you are keeping chicken like this, as you can see, we have very well statured, mature roosters. You can see how the size of these roosters looks like, and the posture. Look at the back. The back of the rooster must have a curved line like this, meaning that rooster is a very good rooster for breeding. And also, you have to check on the back of the rooster. If you want to know that your rooster will be able to produce for you a lot of eggs, the back of the rooster should be very, very wide. If you have a rooster that is very, very tiny like this, skinny in size, that rooster won't be able to produce for you the chicks that are favorable for producing the eggs. So that is another example or another teaching in the breeding of chicken. Because if you really don't know that, you won't be able to produce quality chicks. You also want to produce quality chicks so that you can also be able to continue with your multiplier effect, to continue producing an adequate amount of chicks on your poultry farm and fetching a lot of money out of this venture. That is another way. So if you're able to have chicken like this, they are able to produce over 250 eggs in 1 year. And the benefit of this is that the price of selling one egg of these, the price of one egg of these, if you are selling it off to people that are going to hatch chicks, it is 3 times the price of the layer egg. Meaning if you're keeping chicken like this, then you'll be able to reap a lot of money out of this venture. So if you are doing something like this, these chicken are able to lay 250 eggs per year. Why am I saying that they are able to lay around 250 eggs per year? These chicken, when they lay around 250 eggs per year, they don't sleep on their eggs. Unlike the local chicken lay about 50 to 60 eggs per year. But I've said, out of those 50 to 60 eggs per year, we have an estimate that this chicken will give you around 30 chicks. 50%. I've kept the probability and the percentage around 50% of those eggs will be hatched to chicks. That's why I've said, if you are having 20 hens and 2 roosters, by the end of the year, you must have a minimum of 500 chicken. The multiplier effect. So if you're having chicken like this, because they don't sit on their eggs and they are able to produce 250 eggs in 1 year, and those eggs are fertilized, and you can be able to take those eggs and be able to produce chicks out of them. And how can this come about? What you have to do, you have to look for something known as an incubator. An incubator is a machine whereby you place your eggs and it is able to replicate the brooding characteristics when a hen is sleeping on its eggs. So as when you put the eggs in it, it can be able to be hatched into chicks. And that is what you need. You only need to have chicken like this. Then you need to go and purchase an incubator. After you have purchased the incubator, then you can be able to produce your own chicks. You can see that is the beauty of having the improved kienyeji breed. Now let's say you have chicken like this. Let's use the same example. You have chicken like this. Okay? You have chicken exactly like these ones, the improved kienyeji breed. Then, for example, you are having around 20 chicken. Let's use the same example. You are having around 20 chicks and 2 roosters of the improved kienyeji breed. How many chicks or chicken can you have at the end of the year if you are using this kind of breed to be able to produce more chicks at the end of the year? I call it the multiplier effect. I keep on forgetting that name. The multiplier effect. How can you be able to multiply the number of chicken that you can have on your poultry farm by the end of the year? The benefit of this is that you will only need to feed them. After you have fed them, then they can be able to produce for you the eggs. After they have produced for you the eggs, you can be able to incubate your eggs. If you're able to incubate your eggs, then you will be able to reap a lot of money out of this venture. So we have said you're using only 20 hens and 2 roosters. If one chicken is able to produce 250 eggs in 1 year, okay, that means that you can be able to produce around 5,000 eggs in 1 year. Okay, if you are having 20 chicken. So if you are having 20 chicken on your poultry farm, then you want to produce an amount, a substantial amount. Let's just use the same ideology with the other one. You want to produce around half the number of eggs that will have been produced in 1 year. Do you know how many chicks you will be able to produce in 1 year? You will be able to produce over 2,500 chicks on the lower side in 1 year if you are keeping this kind of chicken, because of the multiplier effect. Remember, The other one, we have said that you can only be able to produce 500 chicken on the minimum side. And the benefit of this improved kienyeji breed is that you can be able to produce up to 2,500 chicken in 1 year. See the difference. In this world, I told you guys, in this world, people make choices. You either choose to become wealthy or you choose to stay where you are. I'm giving you free knowledge. You can decide to rear the local breed, or you can decide to rear this breed, whereby you can be able to multiply your money. You have seen the minimum number of chicks that you can have at the end of the year is 5 times that of the local chicken. Remember, if you want to become wealthy and you are doing a business that has low margins, small margins, you only have to do a lot of it. Like your money is in the numbers. If you're selling your like you're selling chicken with a margin of 200 and you have sold 500, you see, that is only 100,000 Kenyan shillings. But for example, if you are doing that and you have like 5,000, then that will be a lot of money. That will be over 1 million in profit. So if this one you are getting 100,000 Kenyan shillings as profit, the other one you'll be able to make, remember, you'll be able to make 5 times that. 100,000, that one will be 500,000. So you can decide to make money, or you can decide not to make money. Remember, in this world, you keep on believing in yourself, and then you can be able to do whatever you want, and you can be able to become a multi-millionaire out of this industry. I've said, you don't need a lot of money. You only need the right strategy. If you have the right strategy, everything will just fall into place. But if you don't have the right strategy, you are using the old ways of how you can be able to do the multiplication effect, the multiplier effect, then you won't be able to have a lot of chicken at the end of the year. Remember, discipline is the major thing that you need in this business. If you have proper discipline, then everything will just fall into place. And you can become a multi-millionaire in the poultry sector. The multiplier effect, remember, don't forget that. Guys, if you haven't watched my video on how you can be able to save money on chicken feed, make sure you click up here.